My original joke for the beginning of this video was to make a loud scream, directly into the mic. And needless to say, I decided against it. You're welcome. The World Eaters are the Red Corn-worshipping traitor legion of chaos, originally known as Warhounds, and were made to be the Space Marine Legion for the Primarch Angron, who, no surprise, is one angry guy with a lot of unresolved issues, who later turned into a demon. They, as an entire legion, rampage and keep the blood flowing for their patron god Khorne. Also, Angron and a bunch of World Eaters are getting new models the day after this video comes out? Huh, I wonder why I made this video when I did then. And calm down, Hiram. This isn't for you. This is for me. This is for my profit. I didn't do it because you asked, but because I was waiting for the perfect moment to release this video. And I hope you like it. Thank you for the comment and the recommendation. Tau video next, by the way. Koala has asked so many times in earnest that I feel bad that I made a World Eater video come out before his Tau video. It's up to you to decide if I'm picking favorites or not, though. I'm just saying, whoever buys me a good chicken sandwich is getting their video made first. The World Eaters are the bastards of the Great Crusade. Other chapters from the first founding thought they were pretty slick, using their power of terror, swift speed to make a world comply to the Emperor's might. The World Eaters just straight up killed everyone. No one else alive, no prisoners. Thankfully there were no children on the worlds though, only small combatants. Or at least that's what the World Eaters tell me. From the records that exist from them, people were absolutely terrified of the World Eaters, even more than the Night Lords, and that's crazy. Most likely the Emperor tried to get his most outwardly aggressive servants to go into this chapter to make it the most aggressive force he had. Which the Emperor found great until it worked a little too well at killing everybody and the Emperor put him on the bench for a while. Sometimes they would just be let out and tear through anyone they see. Just like how I tear apart and eat a bag of shredded cheese at 3 a.m. They went so dumb stupid crazy that when they went off on their engagements that the Emperor called them his Warhounds, because he was reminded of a white warhound that he saw in the Northern Warriors on Terra. Eventually the Legion was dubbed the Warhounds and was considered a bit too blunt of a tool to use against people, so they used them instead to fight battles against Xenos. And they even found a nice volcanic world as their training base. And then their Primarch was found. Most of the Primarch's history is lost to time, but here's what we know. Standing at over 10 meters tall, a test tube baby from the Himalayan mountains, raised in the gladiatorial world of Nucia, he is the Lord of the Red Sands, Demon Primarch, Angron! I wasn't lying about that, by the way. He is a test tube baby that got schwacked across the galaxy by the Chaos Gods. Right into one of the worst spawns that a Primarch has ever had. Onto the world of Nucera. Although it was technologically advanced, only the ruling class lived in opulence. The common folk would live in poverty in the slums outside of opulent palaces and villas. And like the actual Roman Empire, when people were getting a little antsy, the ruling class decided to throw gladiatorial fights in arenas, using cybernetically enhanced gladiators to quench the thirst of blood for the oppressed people. When Angron arrived, he almost immediately got caught by a slaver, after the young Primarch beat what seemed to be a bunch of Craftworld Eldar to death with his bare hands. They saw the natural talent that he had and threw him straight into the fighting pits, and he killed a bunch of people in the planet's version of Fall Guys. When he won, one manly tear rolled down his face, and that was the last time he ever cried. He did such a great job that they named him Angron Falkir, which means Child of the Mountain. Angron quickly grew fast due to his Emperor's puberty, becoming a giant compared to everyone else. For his excellence in killing gladiators, the arena crowds deemed him the Lord of the Red Sands and unbeaten. He would spare only the most talented fighters and became even more deadly when Ogrins with cybernetic implants called Butcher's Nails fought him. Angron soon protested when he realized he would have to fight again. So the rulers called him a naughty boy and did a small little prank of hammering nails into his cerebral cortex to stop him from thinking and instead rewarding rage with pleasure. With the Butcher's Nails of the Ogrins he just killed. He would then be put in the jail below the arena, and when he was set loose again, he was forced to fight his best friend, which he subsequently brutally mutilated. Angron then woke up from that sweet Zaza and realized what he did. He was originally happy fighting in the arenas, but not anymore, so he planned a revolt. He escaped with a bunch of gladiators with a resistance that was 1,000 strong for a short time. He was then cornered on a mountain with armies surrounding him and his allies. Then the Emperor showed up and said that he would save Angron. Angron wanted everyone to be saved too, but too bad, the Emperor just took him away and Angron watched all of his friends get brutally murdered. But good news, Angron got a Space Marine Legion. Yay! Does that make you feel better, Angron? No? Oh, yeah, he's still pissed. After a while, he did restructure the Warhounds and the World Eaters, starting with him inserting the Butcher's Nails into every single one of them, because it would help them kill faster and make them more effective. Angron really decided to make everyone miserable instead of stopping the use of the Butcher's Nails. Cool, man. How did the Emperor not know that he was going to turn over to Chaos? He just turned the already blood-hungry Legion into more carnage-craving folks. Khorne basically converted these guys like a decade ago. So, when Horus proved himself to be a turncoat, the World Eaters were right behind him. Khorne was fond of the World Eaters, but he wanted the Blood Angels more though, and that failed, so instead he went back to the World Eaters. Take notes, this is where some of the World Eaters became the whipping boys of the 40k universe. Because Angron died, became a demon Primarch, got the Butcher's Nails ripped out of his widow head by Sanguinius, got banished again on Armageddon by Grey Knights, and then his own demon-infested legion now hated him more than ever and started fighting him. Khorne loves some infighting, and the World Eaters do it a lot. After the Horus Heresy, the World Eaters would go into the Warp and keep fighting, killing some of their brethren like the Thousand Sons for a planet. The main reason they won is because the Chaos Lord of the World Eaters, Kharn the Betrayer, got so pissed off at people not fighting that he lit his own encampment on fire, so he could wake them all up and force them to rush the Thousand Sons unexpectedly. Kharn is one of the Blood God's favorite soldiers. This guy has one of his arms out and is using a plasma pistol and a chain axe. His helmet is especially customized to exactly what he needs, meaning that his heads-up display has a kill counter on the side. Sometimes even the superhuman Chaos Lord is taken by surprise because he kills a cloaked assassin. His display also has the live subscriber count for my channel, and it would make him happy if he brought that up. I would be too. He has killed more World Eaters than all other forces in the galaxy combined, culling the weak and keeping the strongest warriors. Their own worst enemies are themselves. Isn't that wacky? The World Eaters have some downright crazy traditions and beliefs, chief among them that death is better than surrender and that brutality and fury is coveted above all. Plus, they thought blood rituals and bloodletting are awesome. They would even smear their armor with their own blood before going out and having a tussle with any enemy they find in their way. They would also use ropes? Really? More of a Slaneshi thing, I would think. It would be a rope of scars that goes around the body to showcase your history, with red and black twists going around the body. With red twists meaning victories and black twists meaning losses. Angron had the longest rope go around his belly, ribs, chest, and sternum. No black twist showcasing his defeat though. Even when he did fail, he couldn't use the soil from his planet to wear his failure in the correct amount of time, so it just stained red. Gladiator pits stayed true to test who was the most worthy of combatants. It also allowed the Legion to have a better sense of brotherhood. The duels would take place in gladiatorial pits, and the winner would be decided by how much wounds were inflicted on the person. Sometimes they would fight to the death too, and some Space Marines got metal teeth to look cooler and bite down harder on their enemies. The World Eaters would also use chains on their arms so they wouldn't drop their weapons. They would even chain themselves in their fighting pits. The first Emperor's champion, Sigismund of the Imperial Fist, took this tradition and used it greatly to his advantage. They also marked their armor with maws, blood marks, and tally marks, also wearing some big old horns on their heads to showcase that they were a warrior that was unstable and damaged, using it as a badge of honor, as well as taking people's heads and putting their skulls on their belt. The World Eaters are pretty cool on tabletop, with all the new stuff that's dropping for them, a bunch of new units, and even Angron himself being added back in, with him being hella buffed and a demon Primarch in the new lore. On tabletop, they are a fast melee-based army. They're basically used to cancel out psychic powers and run up on someone's block and chop them down. Kharn is excellent at this, with him exceeding at helping his World Eater buddies and keeping the blood flowing with his buffing aura warlord trait, and his high invulnerable saves. He also just hits anybody in his path in close aura, including allies, so he is usually set in the middle of a battlefield to help clean up while everyone else takes control points. Angron, who just got added, does the exact same thing, but as a large unit with more killing potential. He can run up and duel other tanks or even Primarchs, with him being buffed if World Eaters are around him, helping him and them with his melee attacks. He's also a fully melee unit with no guns on him. And that's a perfectly timed video on the World Eaters. This video was made on the QuickTime, but with their new codex coming out, I hope I did them justice. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Did I miss something? Or do you have something you want me to cover? Make sure to tell me in the comments down below. Till next video, fellas.